Good morning, sir.
Hi, Shekhar. Good morning.
Sir, how are you, sir?
I am doing well, Shekhar. How are you?
Um,
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. पता नहीं सर आप पहचान रहे होंगे मुझे कि नहीं, लेकिन I had two
Of
sessions with
course, no,
you.
no, I remember. हाँ, I know.
तो वही सर आपने गाइड किया, उसमें बताया सर, प्रीलिम्स के लिए भी आपने बताया था, मेंस के लिए भी बताया था, और कैसे सिलेबस को टैकल करना है उसके लिए। इंटरव्यू में नहीं हो पाया था थोड़ा, क्योंकि इंटरव्यू मेरा बहुत शॉर्ट स्पैन में था। 23-24 तारीख
Okay,
को हम लोग को कॉल लेटर आ गया था और फर्स्ट डे ही मेरा इंटरव्यू था, 2 दिसंबर को।
okay.
तो उसमें इंटरेक्शन नहीं हो पाया, लेकिन सर वही बाकी सारी चीज़ें एग्जीक्यूशन के साथ में फिर हो गया सर फाइनल। तो
That's
वही
good. Nice.
उसके लिए आपको थैंक यू बोलना था सर। और
I'm glad it was helpful.
यस सर।
Right. So, Shekhar, I heard you are joining next week, right? 27th or 28th. 27th is Sunday, so maybe on 28th. Joining,
हाँ यस सर,
कब है?
28th ऑफ अप्रैल।
28th को. Okay, cool. Okay.
तो वही अभी
तो ये
ट्रेनिंग है
रिलीविंग
वहाँ।
हो गया इससे एसबीआई से?
हाँ रिलीविंग हो गई सर, बस रिलीविंग लेटर आज लेना है। परसों
ओके,
लास्ट डे था मेरा वर्किंग डे का।
ओके,
आज रीजनल ऑफिस जाकर के रिलीविंग लेटर
ओके,
बस ले लेना है।
ओके, ग्रेट.
और सर
So,
कुछ आगे
Shekhar,
के लिए कुछ
if you
टिप्स?
can tell us a little about, huh, sure. If you can tell us a little about your experience, right? Both with Oliveboard and specifically mentorship, right? That will be helpful for subsequent batches as well. What aspects of the program did you like? Uh, how did it help you in your
सर आई वुड
preparation?
से
And
अबाउट थ्री थिंग्स।
given that this is also your this was not your first attempt, right? Uh, if I remember, this was
यस,
your third one.
it was
Uh,
my fourth one, sir.
Fourth one. Okay. Mm.
Sir, if I have to
Go
say, I
ahead.
would say about the three things. The first thing is mentorship. Mentorship is much needed, as we know that we do not know where do we have to start and where do we have to continue, and at what aim we have to look particularly, because we know the syllabus of Reserve Bank of India is very dynamic. So, and being a working professional, we don't have much time to cover all the things. So we have to decide on the basis of the available time and the syllabus and the sources, that where do we have to focus. At that place mentorship plays a very important role, and you guided me sir really well regarding that, whether it is a matter of prelims or mains or writing practice, because we know that writing descriptive papers is a very important part in the preparation process. Second thing is a mock test. I appeared for the mock test of from Oliveboard only. I appeared for the prelims mock test, and I tried descriptive as well. And there were some problems in the starting time of the evaluation of the descriptive papers, but I discussed it with you and the other mentors. So उन्होंने काफ़ी हेल्प की उस चीज़ में। कॉपीज
Okay.
दोबारा फिर चेक हुई, फिर क्वालिटी वो। थर्ड थिंग सर, I was not able to take full advantage of the video classes, and that was obviously because of the lack of time.
Got it. No, that's helpful. If I remember, we spoke, I think, 1 week before your phase one exam, and
Yes,
you had attempted about 3, 4 mocks by then, right? And of course, even
yes.
earlier for phase one, you were doing well. But the tiny bits in terms of at least time allocation, right? Maybe some of those things. If you can also describe the changes that you made for this attempt compared to your previous attempts, because you are an intelligent, hardworking person, right? So what were the things that you thought made a difference this time?
So in the first two attempts, I was not able to clear the prelims because I was not aware what do I have to study in general awareness portion specifically. Because I was good in quantum reasoning and English, because I was able to clear the SBI PO paper. But the main problem which I was facing was due to general awareness, because there is PIB as well, then there are clips from newspapers as well, then there is a huge portion of financial awareness questions. So it took me a time to understand that I have to segregate the syllabus of general awareness. So I segregated it into four parts. The first is normal current affairs, the second is PIB, the third is schemes and reports, and the fourth is newspaper. And I simultaneously focused on all these things, and it helped me to clear prelims last year as well, and this year as well. And last year I was not able to focus fully on the mains paper because I was not so sure that I will be able to clear prelims because I had already failed twice. So I did not get ample time to focus on the mains. But in this year I started preparing for the mains examination from the January itself. So it ultimately helped me. First of all, I tried to finish the static portion of the finance CSI management, and after that I tried it linking to the current affairs which we study and the newspaper articles which publish on the regular basis. And so you suggested me, after reading newspaper, try to write summary of those news so that you can make a writing habit. So I tried that, and it ultimately helped me in writing descriptive answers.
Okay. So, changing the approach for descriptive was one, and of course, on the objective portion as well. Maybe because you had done some bits earlier, and this time you started early, you had enough time to go over the syllabus, which was vast, right?
Yes.
Uh, got it. Shekhar, I understand you have a few questions, so happy to answer them.
Sir, what do I have to keep in mind? As you were also in RBI, and you know about the work profile, the environment there. So what do I have to keep it in my mind while going there? That I have to focus on this, and being an employee of Reserve Bank of India, what should I prioritize?
Um, I think what you should prioritize, no matter which career you choose, but that becomes all the more important in any role that involves public policy, is attention to detail, right? Um, so no matter which department you are posted in, there are relevant guidelines, circulars, directions that are issued, right? For essentially, if I want to encapsulate it, it's smooth functioning of the economy, right?
Yes.
It takes different forms in different departments. The priorities may be different, but why is it in place, right? What was the reasoning when it was introduced? Is it relevant today? How does it affect my specific job, right? So, for example, if you are in supervision, there are various guidelines on how banks should. You are aware of that, right? Which is what SBI would follow, right? That means you are closely aware of how you should open accounts, right? How you should follow KYC norms, how you should look at credit appraisal, how you should look at market risk, any of those. If you are in FED, again, similarly, what are the regulations around, let's say, LRS, right? Why are they there? What are issues around capital convertibility, current account convertibility, any of these? So the think of this job as having that big picture or macro view of things, and how it boils down to your specific role on a day-to-day basis, right? Why is there a specific guideline? What should we do to improve it? Where do I see risks, coming up, right? How do we tackle those risks? Where do we see scope for innovation, and how do we push for innovation, right? So those are three key areas, right? Um, but given that it's a generalist role, I think one is it also pays to be patient, right? In the sense that um, you will move across cities, across departments. At certain points, you will be asked to choose. At certain points, you will be asked to, right, join somewhere, go somewhere, right? But the endeavor is, in all of this, you are gaining that exposure, right? That is critical as you go higher and higher in terms of how all these things are interconnected, right? Um, so, in your first stint, it could be very specific, it could be operational, but that's when you can, and this is a path that people have taken for decades, right? It's not you alone. So, how does it add up? That is something you should try to think for yourself, but you should actively also speak to. people who've been in the organization for quite some time, right? I think having, just like in this during the preparation phase, having mentorship helped even after you join the RBI, there is a mentorship program, and you should seek help there as well, right? On overall your career progression, growth, advancement, as well as tactical steps, right? In terms of how to deal with specific issues or with a department, with uh, coordinating with people across the organization, in the same office, in different departments, with different departments across the country. So all these also will be critical, right? So think of it as usually एक pyramid होता है, right? When you talk of skills,
Yes.
you have the technical skills at the bottom layer. Like you're an engineer, you've done mechanical engineering. Let's say you've done commerce, you're a CA. You have those technical skills, right? So that means you understand how you should design, let's assume, motors, right? How you should design, let's say, a manufacturing process. How you should, do ledgers. How you should close books. How you should, right, follow accounting, right? Any of those. So that's at the core of your job initially, right? When you join. So even RBI will try to do the same thing, that no matter which department you go in, before that you have a small induction where you're given an overview, and on the job you learn a lot of these nuances, right? So today that's what you are picked for, right? You are picked for having a good sense of understanding of what the macro economy is, what the micro is, and the ability to grasp, right? To tie in with this, you need interpersonal skills, right? How do you deal with people who are your peers, people who are your superiors, people who are your subordinates, right? All of these, which will come with time, right? And same thing that you've already done in some form at SBI, right? When you work in
Yes.
branches, all of those things. And at the top, you have conceptual or problem solving skills, right?
Mm.
So as you go higher up the ladder, the relevance of technical skills comes down over time, right? Then it will be a combination of interpersonal, technical. As you go further up, it's going to be conceptual and interpersonal. But you also have to think that if this is your, that is your organization hierarchy. Now, how are you helping your manager, right? Who could be a DGM or a GM, succeed, and in turn that means that that person is also now helping the head of the department, who is usually a CGM, also succeed, right? That's how the organization moves forward, right?
Yes.
In any form. So always have that lens that you're there to do a specific role, you're there to solve some problems, right? Let's assume you are in a department like CEPD, right? Consumer education and protection department. You get a lot of complaints, right?
Mm.
Now there is a view that you can take, that I'm a regulator. I'll ask the banks what to do in that specific case, or how they've right, addressed that grievance, and then I'll report it back to the complainant, right? But that's not how your job is to be envisaged, right? Because essentially you're there to ensure that the banks are following the due process, right, in addressing those grievances, and they are actually resolving it where it is deemed fit, right, rather than
Mm.
passing along those perfunctory responses, right? Then you don't need to sit on top, and you don't need to oversee, right? If you are just passing the parcel, right? So as a regulator, your job is to see that the banks are doing their,
Yes.
job well, and the customer protection, consumer protection becomes the fore of it, right? In a different department, it takes a different hue. But think of, the vantage point you have in the financial system as the regulator, and how that means you can do incremental improvements, you can do radical improvements,
Okay, sir.
right? But as far as possible, make sure you interact with people, right? I think this is one area where I've seen when people come from commercial banks also, right? And you are often not in a place where you get to meet a lot of people, at least within the organization, right? But RBI में ये काफी scope होता है as part of your regular role, but because RBI also emphasizes knowledge building, you get
Mm.
an opportunity to undergo training for
Yes.
different, like again, subjects, different places. So that's where you'll meet people, right, from cross-functional departments and different locations. So that's how you will be able to grow faster, right? In the sense that you will be able to gain a better understanding while having, as I said, that technical depth is paramount, but it's also important to develop other skills along the way, right? Because ultimately that's what you are going to be evaluated on. Are you joining RBSC Chennai first? Where is your joining?
Yes, sir. The joining is at RBSC Chennai.
This
Yes,
is for a period of 4 or 5 weeks
at
initially.
RBSC Chennai.
Huh.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, again, RBSC will have a lot of people, like people in the sense, of course, your own batchmates who've come from different backgrounds. Um, some of them will be from banks, some of them will be from UPSC, some of them will be from different, right, jobs, right? And then you'll also have experienced faculty, right?
Mm.
So make sure you spend enough time with them to understand how to think about your career, what to do, because these are again usually DGMs, GMs, that means they've spent about 20 years in the organization, right? And they've also
Yes.
had these different stints in different departments. So so I think one is just having that kind of lens for learning new things, being curious. That will be helpful, and how you can get along with people and get your work done, help them where there's a need. These two are the distinct qualities.
Sure, sir. I'll keep that in mind.
Any other questions?
No, sir. That's it.
Okay, great. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.